Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So today let's talk about why Bitcoin and crypto has been dumping. We have more data that shows why there's so much volatility and so much weakness recently. But does that mean it's about to come to an end? Well, let's talk about it, and let's talk about this big case with Ethereum too, and how the SEC is no longer going after Ethereum. So let's do this. Welcome, guys. Bitcoin is still sitting right around where it was yesterday, around the same level, around 65,000. Really haven't moved today. The US market is closed due to a holiday, so we don't have anything going on in the US market. But you know what? Let's just start out with this. You know what? The SEC. This was actually reported yesterday already, but I didn't really cover it, but I will cover it today. The SEC decides not to go after Ethereum 2.0. They sent Wells notices, and they basically said that we're going to investigate ETH2 and see if it's a security. And ETH2 is different than ETH1 because ETH2 is proof of stake and ETH1 is proof of work, just like Bitcoin, right? So many thought that, well, there may be a chance that even though before Ethereum was deemed a commodity, they might deem it a security now, right? Even Consensus themselves have sued the SEC for clarification because they want to know if this is something that they're really going to do, right? Get into a multi-year battle over whether or not Ethereum 2 is a security. But here's the thing. I think we already knew the answer. There was no way in hell that Gary Gensler and SEC would have approved Ethereum ETFs if they thought it was a security. It wouldn't make any sense, right? So whatever happened behind the scenes, right? And I speculated this, that, Gary, maybe it's like, I'm on my way out, or, I need a cushy job somewhere or whatever, right? He decided to allow Ethereum ETFs to come to be. So that actually surprised me because I really thought it wasn't going to happen this year, and it came so suddenly. And maybe as soon as next month, we're going to get Ethereum spot ETFs trading. So I guess this is a big win, right? Obviously, this basically, once and for all, even if we get a new SEC chair after this year, I mean, it just seems like there's no way they're going to try to revisit this again. This is by two SEC chairs basically now declaring it's a non-security, and this is the letter that they sent. Okay, basically they're saying they're just closing down the investigation. They have no intent of moving forward. So that's good. That's good. What else is there? Well, speaking of Ethereum, right, and those ETFs, Bitwise amended there saying that Pantera Capital is interested in $100 million buy. Again, showing you that there is definitely interest. If there was no interest in Ethereum spot ETFs, those fund makers would not be coming out with them. So I do think that this will be a big catalyst for not only Ethereum, but also for Bitcoin, the entire market, once this starts trading. $100 million buy, that's just the beginning. Look at how much have gone into the Bitcoin spot ETFs. Of course, Bitcoin is different though. Bitcoin is a big daddy, but still, we're talking about 70 or 80 billion dollars so far within 4 months. Can Ethereum capture a few billion dollars in their ETFs? Sure. And this was also posted that you have Hashdex, who's a very small fund manager, but they're coming out with a dual Ethereum and Bitcoin ETF. And they're both weighted. So that's kind of interesting. So later on, right, we can have ETFs where it's like a bucket, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, or, Solana, Ethereum, or maybe you could have, I don't know, you could have Cardano in there and Avalanche and Polygon. You could put all these into a bucket which makes sense because that's most ETFs are like that. You know, you have a real estate ETF, you have like emerging markets ETF, and those are just combinations. Or you could have tech ETF. Those are just, you know, buckets of many assets or other ETFs. So that could certainly happen in the future. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. Anyways, outside Ethereum, what's going on with Bitcoin? Well, we know Bitcoin is the big daddy. A lot of banks, BBVA and others, have said that if you just have even a small amount, okay, just a small amount of Bitcoin or Ethereum, it is going to greatly improve your portfolio. Michael Saylor believes this, but he doesn't have a small amount. He has a very large amount. And many others, like Paul Tudor Jones and Bill Miller and even Robert Kiyosaki, they all think that Bitcoin is the one to hold, right? But you don't have to take their word for it. You just look at the performance. There's no second guessing if you're just looking at facts like performance. And I covered this yesterday greatly in my night video, but I'm just going to rehash it again. Since the beginning of time, since the beginning of Bitcoin till now, Bitcoin's returning close to 150% annualized returns, even with the nasty crypto winters, even with the down markets and volatility and all the scary geopolitical and macro stuff that has happened in the last 13 years. It's still providing 150% annualized gains. And if you compare that to, say, gold, which is giving 3.3%, large caps, US large cap SPY is giving 13.5%, NASDAQ giving 18.6%, and US growth, I don't even know, that's probably like smaller growth companies, 16%. Nothing comes close. So you don't have to take all these billionaires' words for it. Okay? You just have to look at the facts. The facts are that nothing outperforms Bitcoin. It's the greatest hedge against inflation and the greatest store of value that we have. It's just really that simple. But with that said, we do have a little volatility right now, right? We are going through a period where it's a little bit scary. And I realize that, especially for the alts, and they have been selling off, right? Why have we gone down once again? We have seen this many times in the last 3 months, since March till now. We had a lot of volatility. We have been going sideways, and we have been unable to break our previous high formed in March of 73,000. Well, it's because whales have been selling. Over 1 billion in the past 2 weeks. And who are these whales? Well, miners, big whales that hold enormous amount of Bitcoin, right? They have primarily been the ones selling. And yeah, actually it's more than 1 billion. It's more than 1 billion. 1.2 billion. 1.2 billion, okay? Now, why would they be selling? Why would they be selling at all, right? Well, a lot of the miners are struggling. Some miners are taking profit, but a lot of the miners are struggling. It is so difficult to mine in Bitcoin now. It's so hard. It's double as hard as before. So a lot of them are selling. There are some, maybe, that are selling, just long-term holders that are selling. Although I really don't buy that long-term holders are really selling, because all the other charts that I've shown you guys that show the number of Bitcoin being held, 5 years, 3 years, they're still going up. 7 years, 10 years, they're going up, right? And accumulation addresses continue to grow. But maybe there's a few long-term holders that are selling because they're taking profit, and maybe they're getting into something else that they think is a greener pasture, like maybe NVIDIA or something right now, because we know NVIDIA is absolutely on fire right now. And I do think maybe some people are taking profits just so that they can ride that bandwagon, right? There's a chance of that. But I do think primarily it's the miners right now. They are doing what they can to survive. And the bigger ones are trying to take profits in order to expand their operations and so forth, right? And partly because you do also have some on Wall Street that don't get it, right? Some on Wall Street still treating Bitcoin as a redheaded stepchild and selling off whenever they get fearful. And that is not the way to go about it. If you truly understand Bitcoin, you would not be doing that. And here's something else that's interesting too. I didn't know this, but Germany itself holds an enormous amount of Bitcoin. Arkham is tracking them, $3.1 billion, and they recently sent some Bitcoin to Kraken and Bitstamp and some of these other exchanges. Very small amounts, but there's still significant amounts, and no one knows why. Why the German government would be selling off Bitcoin, but they hold 48,000 Bitcoin. I have no idea how they got 48,000 Bitcoin to begin with. If they confiscated it or what. And I don't know why they're using that avatar. I don't know if that's significant or not, but yeah, I mean, even German government is selling. I have no idea why. It's just not the right thing to do right now. I could get it. I get it if we're at 73 or we broke into 75, 80. Maybe they want to take some profit, but doing it right now doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? But going back to the miners, the hash ribbons. The hash ribbons is one of those metrics that does measure miners and miner capitulation. But the good thing is, when you have miner capitulation, you have a temporary dump in price, and then guess what happens? It's usually the bottom point to something greater. And you could see that back in 2021, we definitely had that, right? And then we also had it in 2023, early 2023, when Bitcoin hit its bottom of 15,000, 16,000. But guess what? It's happening right now. But look at where we are right now versus the previous times. We're seeing it right now at around 65,000. We're seeing that same kind of capitulation from the miners. So even though, yes, we had some volatility, we did dump a little bit, but this is actually fantastic because when this is over, when we get that bottom and the miners are either out or they're done selling, that's when we get that terrific turnaround, right? And that is going to be awesome. So, and here's something else that's talking about, well, if you're looking at Bitcoin short-term movement, inverse head and shoulders still in play. Yup, that's right. So even short-term perspective, you know, sometimes you just got to wait. Sometimes you got to wait months. Months upon months upon months. And if we have to wait a few more months, so be it. But this is definitely the time when you don't want to leave the market. Because if you do, and once we start moving and make that next leg up, you are going to regret it. You are going to regret it big time. Because the next stop could be at six figures at $100,000. And that is still just the beginning. And we still have all of 2025, right? Now, something else that's kind of interesting, measuring MVRV of several big caps, like, of course, Ethereum, XRP, Doge, Ton, Cardano, right? Looking at how far down this metric has gone down for a lot of these, it kind of tells you whether or not you should be mildly bullish or very, very bullish. And according to this, Dogecoin and Cardano are very bullish right now. I'm not so certain about that. XRP, mildly bullish. Again, not certain about that. But I do agree with the first two. Bitcoin and Ethereum, mildly bullish at this point. Yes. Ethereum ETFs, right around the corner. Bitcoin, the big daddy, and everything that we know about it, it is not going to go away. It's only going to get stronger from here on out. So, that's it. That's it. One random meme news. Brett somehow have gone up so much it flipped Bonk. Bonk, I just don't know what's going on with Bonk. It just like hit a wall. And I see them do a lot of advertisements and stuff and sponsorships everywhere, but it is not helping them. And someone like Brett, who has no sponsorships, nothing, is still continuing to rise up. Brett is on fire, and it is on base, in case you're wondering. All right. That's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. Good morning, everyone. I got some very needed rest this morning since the market is closed. So that's why I started late. Yeah, the U.S. market's not open. I don't need to stream at 8:30. Get a little more rest. Let me scroll. Let me see if I missed anything. Blue Thor, George is the king of hodl. Yes. Let's go crypto. Don't you ever get tired, George? I'm tired all the time. That's why I needed my rest. Especially now, getting out there, doing more activities, exercising more. It's tiring me out. The German government needs money. Germany's national coat of arms. Is that what the picture is? Okay. Sirwin says, do you think Tether would collapse in the future like FTX? At this point, no. They are making money like crazy. Billions in profit per quarter. Billions, okay? So at one point in time, I was very suspicious of Tether and everything, all the controversy that behind it with Bitfinex, iFinex, you know, trying to lend money and not disclosing it and not doing proper audits and so forth, right? But they withstood all that. And now they're making so much money that there is basically, in my mind, no chance that they go fall. They have more than enough to make up their reserves. They have, in fact, more reserves than the USDT in supply. So no, I just don't think there's any worry right now. Knock on wood, maybe there's something else, but right now they seem pretty solid. And there's a huge distance between them and USDC at this point. Wall Street is closed today. How much BlackRock Capital trolling the price and narrative? I don't know. I just know that this last week or two, ETF outflows have been tremendous, but the one fund that had zero to no outflow is BlackRock's IBIT. So they are definitely not giving up any of the Bitcoin that they have accumulated. They are holding that no matter what. The value of the yet unmined Bitcoin is only about 100 billion. Based on that, Bitcoin is dirt cheap. Okay. And someone is asking, George, who's Leslie? Both of you were mentioned on Tucker Carlson's video on YouTube. I have no idea who Leslie is. And I don't even know why that meme coin has a video on YouTube. No idea. No idea. Um, when will Solana pump? Soon enough. Soon enough. When the entire market starts coming up, Solana is still a powerhouse and they will still lead the market this cycle, along with Bitcoin and Ethereum. GT350 or GT500. GT500 is faster, but GT350 you could get a 6-speed manual. That's a big difference. GT500 just paddle shifting, so it really depends on if you want to just have fun with the car and still have amazing performance and sound. The GT350 is I think it's natural aspirated, right? And the GT500 is supercharged. So GT350 natural aspirated and 6-speed manual for like a weekend car, I would get the 350. Although they discontinued it, so I don't know if the price has been going up on that. I have no thoughts on Celtics winning a championship. That's just like they should win it. They're just so stacked versus everyone else. They should have won. I'll just leave it at that. Mavs had no chance. People are saying, "Oh, Luka's injured," or blah blah blah. Even if he was playing at 150%, they still would have lost. There's just no chance. And that game 4 blowout that happened, that was all rigged. You know, it should have been a 4-0 sweep. But with that said, I'm no fan of Celtics, so it's not like I wanted to see that. I just didn't care. I just knew that the reality is there's no way Mavs would have won. What about Kulo, Cock Inu, and Big Red? What about them? Why did NBA allow Celtics to fleece everyone for Drew Holiday and Porzingis? I mean, they got Porzingis for like nothing. And same thing with Holiday. And Drew Holiday is very underrated. Yeah, you know, like Celtics must be like way over the cap, and that's how they're able to afford everyone. And they're paying, you know, Jaylen Brown like 50 million a year. I don't know how they can handle all the salaries. Stefan, Cybertruck needs to get tighter with their assembly. I keep hearing about. I don't know what you mean. The body gaps and stuff I've heard for the Cybertruck are actually decent, not as bad as before, but very sharp edges. People are getting scratched and poked, so that's a concern. It's just a matter of time because someone like really gets injured or pokes their eye out or something. What happened to the English hodl? He was on for a while, then disappeared. I have no idea who that is. I never heard that. Was the Model Y the first Tesla you bought? Um, yes. Yes. Man, you could get a Model Y for dirt cheap now. I see used ones go in the 20s now. I mean, in the 20s, it's definitely worth it. It's crazy. You get new ones for like 30s to 40s, low 50s for performance. Um, the problem is you just see them everywhere, everywhere. Yeah, but after the Model Y, I sold it to my friend. Then I got a Model S Plaid, and I didn't enjoy the car that much. It made me sick every time I drove it. The driving position and just EV cars. EV cars gets me nauseous for some reason. And then wasn't as practical, so I traded that in for Model X. AI coins all bounce super hard. Let's see. Good day, 14%. But the reason why it's bouncing is because it's been going down so much. But yeah, keep in mind, AI is not gone. It's funny that people are like now dissing on AI coins, saying, well, they all sold off and stuff. Well, yeah, I mean, everything else sold off. But this super intelligent alliance, the new ASI coin is still coming. AI is still very early, okay? But we know it's going to be a big part of everyone's future. So you just got to give it time. Right now, just overall, the alts are struggling. Bottom line, alts are struggling. Do you think Brett could flip Pepe? I mean, anything's possible in crypto. Right now, Pepe is still very, very, very far ahead, but not sure if that's going to happen. Did I try to jailbreak my Tesla? No. I don't even know why that's needed. What do you do with it? Like, if you do anything with your Tesla and it screws it up, you are effed, because they will get rid of your warranty. And trust me, you want that warranty. You don't want to pay for anything in your Tesla because they're very expensive to fix. So why even mess with that? There's no need to mess with that. Why are you bullish on Bitcoin L2s like Stack? I didn't say that. I never said I weren't bullish on it. I just said that I don't believe Bitcoin should be anything other than a store of value, because I think that's the greatest thing about Bitcoin. It's just being a store of value. There's no need to try to build on top of Bitcoin. It could just be a store of value, quite simply that. But Stacks itself has been doing really well. You look at their performance in 2023 and 2024, they have certainly gone up, just like Bitcoin. And they will continue to go up as long as Bitcoin goes up. Stefan, PooCoin will be a superhero in the meme story if U.S. politics get worse. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. There's too many political memes now, narratives, that it's being overplayed, and most of them are going down now. So I don't believe that. Is Brett only on Coinbase? No. You could get Brett on Uniswap, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Uniswap, you get on Bybit, Gate, KuCoin, BingX. I mean, you can get it everywhere. They're up 20% today. 1.4, what is Pepe at? Pepe's having a good day. 4.7. Yeah, they're still very far away. Very far away. Bonk not moving today. 1.4. Yeah, so Pepe's, moved past Bonk. Zav, appreciate it. Big Red is going up today. Let's see, 20%, nice. 3.7 million, still kind of low. There are ads running. Music partnership. I know the team is not giving up. Sayo is asking, what is your thoughts on Grand Highlander? Is it the best SUV in this class? It's pretty much up there. It's more expensive than anything else because if you get that new, I don't know if they call it iForce Max, whatever Max engine. It's a hybrid twin turboed. You're getting like 400 horsepower and over like 500 pounds-feet of torque, and you're still getting great fuel economy. If you opt for that engine, it is pretty much the best in the class, but it's also the most expensive. So, you know, if you're talking about three-row SUVs, family SUVs or crossovers, that one is pretty good. I mean, I still think the Telluride and Palisade are pretty good. The new Honda Pilot is pretty good. So you have options, but the Grand Highlander is one of the best. However, you're paying for it. It does cost more, significantly more than others, if you opt for the big engine. Is Sui good pie? Thoughts on the project? I do think they're doing well, but I'm very fearful of all the unlocking that has started. It's going to release a ton of tokens over the next few years. Ron is asking about Hoppy. I don't know what Hoppy is. Another meme, I'm assuming. 26 million. Another frog. Charts doesn't look bad. I mean, it's pretty linear upward so far. I don't know too much about it. It's on ETH though. Yeah, ETH is no good. Liquidity is quite small for a 26 million market cap of 1.13. That's kind of low. Holders is good, but it's on ETH. If you want memes to do well, you got to go with Sol or Base. You don't go with ETH. Don't ever get that in Maserati MC20. You'll be able to get that at half price in like a couple of years. There's no Maseratis that ever hold their value. They tank. All right, guys. I'll let you go. Overall, now we know why there's a little bit of weakness right now. There are some entities that are selling, but no matter. It's the wrong move. This is the time to be loading up, and more importantly, you gotta hodl. Continue to hodl, DCA, and let the gains come to you. All right, I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and tonight is DCA day. So, and Iman, last question: your honest opinion on Nvidia? They are unstoppable. They are the biggest company on the planet, but that doesn't mean they can't go up more. I just, with AI and how they are. With AI soaring right now, everyone's doing it, and with them being their monopoly basically on the chips, they are just going to continue to rake in money, and their stock will continue to go upwards. That's my opinion. All right, take care. Bye-bye.